I think I need to address the card that helped me win a regional. If it wasn't for this card in my deck, I don't think I could have won the regional. And in my opinion, this is going to be a 3 of card in most decks moving forward. Once people realize it. The spell card Monster Reborn was a combo extender. It was a defensive card. It was a card that let me end on a bigger board. It was a card that let me play through Nib. It was a card that if my opponent used Call by the Grave, I could chain it, targeting my monster, my Hash Blossom, right? And I could dodge Call by the Grave. That came up. If you're playing Shifter in your deck, you could reborn your Shifter, and then if you have another Shifter, you could Shifter again, which is a little crazy in my opinion. The card is way too flexible, and I'm having a very hard time understanding why no one's playing it. I do think people are going to catch up on it, and they're going to start incorporating it into their decks. I feel like especially if you're playing a Link deck or Fiendsmith deck, or especially if you're playing a Fiendsmith deck, because if your monster can become a Link 1, then you could just spell card Monster Reborn, bring back your monster, and then you have Fiendsmith combo, right? I just think it's too good. It's way too versatile. Even if you open up 2 of them, you could use one during your turn to extend your combo, and then set the other one as a trap card, right? Set it as a DD Crow. It's an even better DD Crow in my opinion, right? Taking your opponent's like boss monsters or something along those lines could be really, really powerful and game changing. Keep in mind, the monster that you take or the monster that you reborn, its effect is negated only for the turn. So on the following turn, the effect is going to be live. That's like, you have to think about that, because there's some cards that have maybe a floodgate effect. It just says you can't activate that effect, right? So let's say if you reborn a barrier statue, the card is going to have its effects. So I think this is something you should always keep in the back of your mind when you're deck building. Moving forward, I know I am, especially if you're playing a Link-based deck. It's just too good. Converting any one of your, you could have a 1-card push, right? And then you could just spell card Monster Reborn, and then you get access to another push out of nowhere. It's just way too versatile in my opinion, and I think if I didn't have that card in my deck, I was not going to win the regional. So I just want to put it into my viewers' eyes. And if you're watching my channel, just keep in mind that this is a card that I have on my radar. I'm trying to incorporate this card in almost every single deck I play right now, just because I think it has that power level. The ceiling of the card is tremendous, and the floor is really high. Like, the card will almost never be bad, right? You're going to extend with it, you're going to DD Crow your opponent, you're going to reborn a monster to, I don't know, continue linking or end on a boss monster or take your opponent's boss monster, etc. So keep it in mind. Really, I think this card is extremely good, and very under the radar. You can see if you're watching deck profiles online, no one's playing the card. But yeah, I think it's a 3 of in almost every deck. So that's an above average tip for you.